I'm Brian Deloney, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to show you a little bit about this thing I've been working on for a few years. This is actually the first time I'm bringing it to the public, so it's kind of nerve-wracking a little bit to get some feedback. But what it is, it's an app that I developed, and it's basically like Uber for stuff, except that's kind of like a, I don't know, generalized thinking about it, but it's called Dity, deliver it to you. So you can literally take anything and deliver it or have it delivered wherever you are, and you don't have to necessarily, you can get stuff from a retail outlet, but you could literally, I could send something, if I forgot something at home and my wife can't bring it to me, she can have somebody come by, swing by and drop it off to me wherever I am. I could be in the middle of the woods, literally, as long as I've got my GPS on me. And the pretty cool thing is, you can track the deliveries. You can go through, communicate with the driver. You can tell them what you want them to do. Pick your items, know who you're dealing with. It's pretty sweet deal. So our website, so you guys can actually download the app right now if you like. It's ditydelivery.com, and I have it built out on Android as well as Apple. Oops. And so, like I said, it's pretty simple. Use the app, select a pickup and destination, get your package, and you can pay it all through the app. We use Stripe as our merchant service, so like the company itself, I don't handle any of the money. We don't handle any of that. All of the payments, the escrowing of funds, all of that, we actually worked it out with Stripe, so they manage that. Now the value in the app is really just saving valuable time. Nowadays, we have all kinds of stuff that we're responsible for, and I know personally, I don't want to have to go to pick up my dry cleaning, even though it's like 2 miles from my house. It's something I dread doing, and it's 20 minutes that I'd rather be playing with my dog, hanging out with my kids or my wife or something like that, and it would cost me $7 to have somebody go pick that up and bring it to me. But I know we have handicapped people that don't have the ability to go get what they need whenever they need it. You have the average mom, she has 17 minutes of me time, so just having somebody to run those errands for you, that's kind of where Dity came from. The industry itself, and I didn't know what I should talk about when I do this, but the courier industry is a $59 billion industry. The top 4 people, which we're pretty familiar with, like FedEx, UPS, DHL, all those companies, they dominate 86% of it. And there's the growth rate of that industry is about 6% a year, so it's consistent. It's been that way for over multiple decades, and they expect it to keep going. The competitors for Dity would be something along the lines of like a Postmates or the Uber or something like that. But all of those companies, even an Instacart, they usually require the merchant to get involved and pay a percentage to lower the delivery cost. All of this is just strictly it's just a service for the driver to be able to connect with somebody who wants something delivered, and you get flat fees. I don't know if you've ever used Instacart and got something from Whole Foods. They told you one price and then it's actually a different price, but you'll know exactly what your price is and there's no changing. I think that's a huge deal. But the pricing for, if you're to use DHL or something like that, it's a minimum just to send, if you want to have something picked up right now and delivered across the street, that's like $30, and it doesn't make any sense. And you can have somebody do that in our app for a minimum of $7.25. 80%, we do a higher split also, so incentivizing more people to want to be a driver. So we split 80-20 as opposed to Uber does anywhere from 35-65, something like, or 65-35. Postmates is less. There's a delivery company down in Texas that does even less. But this is the really cool thing, which I was talking about earlier. Trying to get people to use the app, I created a brand loyalty process where, if I refer you to use the app and you do a delivery forever, I'm going to get 25 cents every time you do a delivery. But it gets even better because you refer a person, and not only do you get a quarter, but I also get a quarter. So it's and it goes 3 tiers down. So it's kind of like a little pyramid, but it's legit, and it's a referral fee. But it incentivizes people to tell their friends, and it incentivizes you to give them your referral code. And forever, when that person is using the app, that can be a lot of extra money in your Stripe account. So it's like actual real money, and it's not like bonus points or anything like that. So really hoping that drives people to want to use it. As far as liabilities, I tried really hard to cover as many of these liabilities. We're insured. You know, obviously can't control if a driver's intoxicated or something like that if they wreck your stuff. But we do, the last step of the app right now is integrating a facial recognition software real time that actually when a person signs up, they want to be a driver, takes a photograph of them, validates it with their ID and everything. And we're building that out right now, but we had to find a company to do that. But now we know who's got your stuff. So if nothing else, I mean, at least you know who to go after for your stuff. Don't go after me. So as far as why Dity, as far as for an investor standpoint, it was low overhead. I mean, I've spent all my money on it, so nobody else has helped me. So break even. Hopefully by 2019 we should see relatively quickly, and I don't know if people show like numbers and projections and stuff like that at this type of an event, but it should happen real well. I do have a slide on that. It is developed, so all I have to do now is just get people to do it. So the app actually exists, so it's not a concept. It's very convenient to use for as far as value to customers. The perpetual referral money, I mean, I think that's going to be huge to drive brand loyalty and flexibility as far as value to businesses. So small businesses that are looking for some level of delivery, if they can't hire on with the whatever Instacart or something like that, they don't have the margins. They have something that they can at least get things delivered and add value. And then the driver's compensation with the app is better than anything else out there. So, and as far as like St. Louis market, when you look at some of these numbers, sorry, it's kind of hard to see that color, but there's about 1.1 million households. And I'm hoping that in 3 years, we should capture about 8% of those households. So that's like a family of maybe 3 or 4 people in there. One person using the app, you know, twice a week, somewhere in that household, so that household's using it twice a week, that should generate roughly about $7.5 million in revenue. And then when you're looking at household segment as far as revenue, or businesses, we have about 73,000 businesses in the area, and if we capture 2% of those, they're doing 5 deliveries a week. You would think that they would because of customers and their needs. $500,000 revenue, and hopefully, you know, if everything goes smoothly, and everything always does, we would be making like $8 million revenue off one city alone, and then we just and it's a very scalable process. I mean, the technology is all there. I mean, the backbone is solid. We've used some really cool, used Python technology and built everything out. So it's just more people. Just got to get basically more servers and all that stuff. But that's the long and short of my app. So I'm ready for you guys to just do that mean stuff that I hear you do here.
Let's
ask questions. Just kidding.
All right. So please wait for the microphone. Okay. First question over there.
Have you thought about going to a more densely populated city that will use less cars, where they would probably find this?
Oh, absolutely. You'd be surprised though. Well, all I'm doing right now is just trying to get proof of concept. And so I'd rather do the proof of concept in a smaller, in an area where there's more opportunity to see the flaws and make the changes, as opposed to like say in New York, and you go there and you're just like, yeah, everybody starts using it, and then I have compounded with like so many problems all at once without the revenue to be able to kind of hit these things. So I'd like to do it in a smaller city. And I feel like, I mean, this is actually, believe it or not, I've met a lot of people that Central West End, you know, Clayton stuff, they would love to have little things that when they have the disposable income. I live out in Baldwin and in the suburbs, and You know, it would be nice to just have a few things delivered that I just don't, because everything feels like I got to drive forever for, and it takes the rest of my life, and I'm just sitting in my car. So I'd rather like have somebody else do it if I could, and I'm willing to pay for it.
Actually, Melanie asked the exact same question I was going to ask. Then I'll just say that I think you definitely probably should target some other cities first, and you can just start to targeted ads and sign up drivers, for special deals, whatever it is. But definitely another market.
So from the presentation, I wasn't quite sure what the main kind of use case, like what do you sort of see the first use case of this kind of thing? What are people going to want
to use it for? So like in my imagination, I imagine people using it for things like, Craigslist or Facebook Market, things that you can see the quality of the item already, but then you have to go pick it up. Nobody else is going to do that for you. And you're willing to pay a little extra money if it's nearby to have it picked up. Again, things where there's small businesses that they don't already have something like, because the food is there's so many apps out there, DoorDash or whatever it is, and all these different things. You could use it for food, but that's not like the ideal. Like, it would be like you can purchase something, you can call up a business, small business, you can purchase it, and they have it for in-store pickup, and you can go send somebody to go pick it up, and it's nearby. Our attorneys can use it for sending documents and stuff at a cheaper rate than having something like a DHL or something like that, where it costs a little bit more to do these same-day courier services. But I'm hoping that people start to see the possibilities, because right now it's one of those things like we don't even think that we can do that. Like there's somebody out there that would be willing to do that. I'm hoping that people see, oh man, I can just have somebody for hardly anything do all these little things and free up some time for me. So,
I think, at least for me, I guess what seems like the biggest issue, we're talking about like attorneys sending documents, so it's like you want it to be certified. You want to actually make sure that, at least with DHL or some of these bigger ones, it might cost a little more, but you can have it.
Well, you can verify that the item was. If
right. No, I'm saying it's something that I think it's more of a trust barrier than a technological barrier.
Sure.
It's just a matter of convincing people that there's this level of trust that you can do. And Airbnb did it with hotels,
right.
With lodging, which is a huge one that no one thought they were able to sort of overcome. So
right.
I think it's
there's this technology also, like if a person, so the driver comes to pick up your item, they take a photograph of the quality of the item when they pick it up. They take another photograph upon delivering the item. The person who is getting ready to receive the item will get a one-time password that they have to give to the driver, so you know that it's not going to anybody but the person that you said it should go to. So the driver shouldn't release it to anyone else, and they can't actually get paid until they receive that one-time password to release the funds. So Stripe takes and escrows that money until the delivery is complete, and then once that completion occurs, then it sends a signal to Stripe to release the money. So there shouldn't be for that driver, there shouldn't be any reason why they want to take the item, because there's no opportunity for them to get paid in any other way. They can't just get paid through the app. At least you pay, and before a person the driver goes to pick something up, you're going to pay into escrow the delivery costs. So that driver knows that money is set aside, your credit card is validated, all that kind of stuff. And so it's, those kind of steps we're taking to make sure that, people will feel more comfortable if you want to do it.
Are there deliveries already taking place now? Are there already deliveries?
The only thing has prevented me from letting people start using the app at this point was what I mentioned, is just trying to do a validation of the individual with their identification, a real-time validation. So because people can take on other ID software, they can take your license and validate the license, and then take a photograph to validate the face with the license. And what we found, I have a technology that basically it actually validates that you're a living person. It takes a photograph of you real time, you have to blink, so that validates you're real, and then it matches your face against it. So we know that against your ID, and it validates whether or not the ID is real, and the address and all of that is correct with that individual's. information. So, we try to make sure we know who it is. That's why we have so many.
I was thinking about deliveries are, there's an urgency factor, and that's gonna get more people to use you if there's an urgency factor. And to me, that's picking up prescriptions for sick children or for people who need their refills right away. Have you talked to like bicycle messenger companies or home health care agencies to maybe have this part of the service they provide?
Yeah, I mean, those are companies that I've actually thought about, but I haven't taken that next step. This is literally the very first public showing of the company because I didn't really want anyone to start. I didn't have the ability to be like, yeah, you can use it.
Yeah.
But I've gotten feedback from people and they were interested, but they're just kind of waiting.
Sure, because it seems like if you're providing a service that people need, as opposed to trying to get them to want it, you'll be able to penetrate a little faster.
Sure.
I got a couple questions for you.
Sure.
First one, definitely sort of a question. How are you dealing with the underlying payment for whatever the thing is the person's picking up? So, I mean, it's great if it's, hey, I can do a Target and it's, pick up a Target. But they have built in, things like that. Or like my dry cleaner, I can't prepay for.
Right.
So
Well,
I
you
have to
can
become a dry cleaner?
prepay for your dry cleaner. You just have to call and prepay.
Okay.
So I know there's no ordering through the app itself for a person. Now that is a convenience that we've become accustomed to, but this allows you to fill in the gaps of all the other things that you didn't even realize you could have picked up. Right now we've kind of been funneled into what we think we can do with examples like Instacart and stuff.
Second question I had is, have you thought about the idea of specifically requesting a type of vehicle? So like if I need a barbecue grill picked up, I need somebody to pick up.
Right. No, yeah, that's actually, those are next steps. So like if you, depending on the size of the item, what kind of vehicle you have, we'll be able to also like isolate what kind of driver. So right now it's just pretty much anything you can fit in a car and it's not illegal. So.
Great presentation. I think your big killer market is going to be pot, to be honest with you. Seriously, pick a state that just converted and go there and dominate because it's a quick way to make a ton of money and gain traction. And maybe create a sub-company because that way Dity doesn't just become pot distributor.
Right.
But I mean, that could be us in November, But this seems like a huge market just waiting to happen. There's a lot of people that want to buy pot in a legal place, but don't want to be seen in an establishment. So I think this is,
Well, it's kind of interesting that you said that because I have been approached by somebody about that. So, but it was kind of along the same lines. It's like, I mean, I don't want to be the pot delivery service, but hey, I will be the pot delivery service. I need to make a profit. So, I don't know.
First, I think it's a fantastic idea and kind of a combination between Uber and Tackle as far as kind of where you're going with it. But I'm curious on the functionality part, if you are setting guardrails around, because there's a difference in bringing a document to Joe's office versus picking up a piece of furniture.
Right. Yeah. So right now, I mean, but I want to have that level of functionality. But obviously, if somebody's picking up some furniture, that's going to require potentially more manpower and obviously another type of vehicle. So I want to be able to designate that and also change the fee service for that so that a person who has that type of equipment feels like it's financially beneficial for them to do that. Because right now, if a person, you say a delivery, it's just based on mileage and that's it. So it's like $1.75 the first 4 miles and then $1.50 a mile after that, basically. And so, you're going to pick up a couch and it's 4 miles, you're not going to want to do that for like $5 or $7.
Exactly.
Working over here, but I would say that the Home Depot factor alone, because anytime you're working on a job, you have to go to Home Depot.
Yeah.
It just kills you.
Yeah, and contractors and everything, just having things delivered, that's also huge. Plumbers, stuff like that.
just as excited also has an awesome presentation, even if this is the first time you go public with this is amazing. And just quick question about the development of the entire project itself. How long have you been working on this, and how many people do you have with you?
Okay, so this started as an idea a couple of years ago, and this is when, like I was telling you, that I went to a Million Cups back when it was in the other building with all the bikes and stuff like that. And so that was a couple of years ago, and this was whenever I was just getting like a storyboard going. And so that was, and now it's where it is. So it's actually a thing, but it's been all. I have developers in India, a company that I work with, and we just kind of. So I'm up late with them. Their time frame, their time is all night, and then I go work all day.
So just two things. For the pharmaceuticals, that's definitely another question. You cannot be in possession of somebody else's prescription unless you are certified delivery.
Yeah, there are certifications you can get.
Yeah.
So that's something I was going to look into, working in. So you would have to qualify, and then having also like a program where people could qualify themselves to do that.
And then from the investor standpoint, because I know that you're going to try to get investment, the use cases, that's a big thing.
Right.
Investors shy away from things that have too many use cases. So that's just something
To just narrow the focus.
Yeah. I mean, if it works, but it just for investors, they just tend to shy away from things.
Okay. Well, so maybe going to Colorado and start there.
I just
Oh, sorry.
thought something. What about
Wait for the mic. To organize.
Sorry about that. He's got the
I heard lately that Uber actually also announced that they would like, that they are planning to deliver items and not only people. How you are planning to cope with this? They have already all the systems, the drivers.
Well, it was one of those things where I was like, man, Uber, they're doing it, so there's just no room for anybody else. I'm just going to give up. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of room. It's a $59 billion industry. There's everybody needs a competitor. And I mean, if you look into the market, there's people all over doing smaller businesses and growth and everything. I'd love to be Uber. They are like a $60 billion company, but I'd love to be a $20 million company, a $100 million company. And it doesn't take much to get there, but all of it's just a matter of doing little unique things to make your person, that customer, want to stick with you and use you. And I think things with like the brand loyalty, those rewards, those monetary actual dollar rewards, and not some sort of like coupon or points or something like that, that drives people to want to like look up and be like, man, I told all these people about it, and I've got $100 in my account from like, I didn't even realize.
So if I heard you correctly, you are not planning strategically to be a unicorn company. You will be happy also with 100, 200 million.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get me wrong, like my goal is to dominate this area, but I don't believe that Uber or Postmates or any company out there, I think this is such an infancy field still, that there's plenty of room for growth. I mean, we start here, and Uber's international now, but they don't have much competition, and people aren't absolutely, like Lyft is growing leaps and bounds just because Uber is rude. Their CEO makes bad comments and stuff like that, and now he's out, and they're trying to rebrand themselves, but it's little things like that allow other competitors to grow, and there's multiple other Lyft type services that are not like in the United States that are growing in other countries. So I'm not too focused on, I mean, I look at what they do, but I don't feel like I can't be successful because Uber's just so amazing, I mean, I'd be more concerned actually about like an Amazon or something like that, because Amazon just takes over pretty much everything. So I just want them to buy me. So, yeah.
Okay, sorry about earlier. When you were talking about working for, say, contractors or whatnot, for like, materials and whatnot. What about hazardous materials? I mean, you're not exactly gonna be riding in say, a Honda Civic with a liter of radioiodine for some MRI or something.
Well, I mean, again, along those lines, that would be, whenever we're looking at designating different types of vehicles, designating different types of qualifications for prescriptions or something like that, then we would also be looking at, being qualified to potentially carry those out. I mean, it's such a small, amount of what kind of deliveries I would be thinking that would occur, that I'm not really, that's not a priority on the list, but when we do break that down, that would be something we should, it doesn't make sense to not also investigate and create that option.
So I'll take the final couple of questions and a comment. What can the community do for you? What are you looking for right now?
I mean, just stuff, just like this, is just ideas, feedback, how you feel about it. Download it, that would be great. Tell your friends about it. I am looking for help with ideas of how to get things out there, social function. If you see a way that you can, because literally, it's me. And then it's some people in India that don't really care unless I pay them. And so, what I mean? It's not, they're not passionate about it like I am. But so some people that might be able to see opportunity in ways that I'm not, just like this is great feedback, and might want to help grow.
One thing you didn't address is how are you getting drivers? Because if you don't have drivers, you don't have a product.
You'd be surprised, that's actually one of the easier things I've found to do, because there's so many other driver type of services out there, and you're just kind of targeting those same people. They have social media groups, and they have different, they're networked together. So I went and just to test it out, I put a Craigslist ad, and I had hundreds of people just wanting to do it. So I was like, okay, well, this isn't gonna, that's the easy part. It's getting people to hire the drivers.
Last question.
I notice Uber has a way you can order a ride online.
Mm-hmm.
And have you looked at that possibility? Because people downloading an app and setting it up, it sounds like that's another thing they have to go through. If somebody has a computer in the home.
Well, yeah, having that interface would, I don't currently have that because there's more people using a smartphone and using that functionality, and because of the GPS and everything that's involved in it. But I would definitely, I'm open to, because there's other abilities you can have for a business, from a business standpoint, if they can sit behind the computer and then punch in 10 deliveries at a time and not have to do it on the phone, it's going to be very easy. So it is something that I'm next stepping. It's just getting the finances together. But we went with the smartphone first because all of the other things that need to be built out, it starts kind of with that.
All right. Thank you very much.
How do you download
Go to the App Store, right?
Yeah, you can go to the App Store. You would have to type in Dity Delivery because I have not set up, because you can market through the App Store, and I haven't really pushed the marketing because, again, it wasn't finished. But if you type in Dity Delivery in the App Store, or you go to the Play Store, it'll pull it.
It actually finds it with Dity. It's just the second one down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, your second one.
The second one, the top one, second is a gap.
Okay, nice.
Okay, well, so thank you very much. Thank you, Brian.
Thanks.
One other thing, I forgot to mention this at the very beginning. Speaking of apps, is there any first timers here? Anybody here for the first time? Come on, don't be shy. There we go. Good for you. All right. Download the 1 Million Cups has an app. If you could download it and log in, check in, all that. They like to keep track. They want to know who's coming. I don't know why. It's their thing, not mine. So if you could please do that, some coffee foundation right there. So that's about it. Thank you very much. Hopefully I will see everybody next week. And if you have more questions, I'm sure Brian would love to have a one-on-one conversation with you. So.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And also, just want to let you know, if you do go to the website, ditydelivery.com, and you have a question for me also, you can fill out the comment sheet. That goes straight to me too. So email me through that.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. See you next week.